Tom Vasel. Welcome to Board Game Breakfast. Okay, so a couple things. The most important thing to realize is next week there will be no board game breakfast at all because I'm going on a cruise. The Dice Tower cruise is going on and many of you are coming with me, so I'm very excited about that. Some of you aren't, but that's okay because we're going to still have a full slate of content this week. Now next week there will be pretty much nothing. All right, there'll be a few things going up as during the cruise week, a few things that we've recorded ahead of time. But for the most part, not a lot going on. And, you know, we need to take some time off over the course of the year. I apologize about that, but when we come back, there will be, just wait. But there's still stuff coming up this week. Dice Tower Con registration. When I recorded this, which was Friday, Black Friday, I recorded this on, there was like less than 1,000 left out of 3,000. So 2/3 of the convention seats are already sold. If you're waffling on it, don't wait too long. I guarantee you it will sell out. So don't wait too long to get a Dice Tower Con and get your tickets. Other than that, though, let's get started. And we'll start with the news. Okay, so for the news, really there's not much news this week. I do want to mention Dice Tower Con is still less than 1,000 tickets left. It went on sale last Tuesday. 2/3 already sold. So if you're waffling on this, get your tickets now. Also, MOA. This is coming from Martin Wallace from Ape Games. This was Kickstarter before. It's now going to be coming out soon to the market. I really like this to look at colonialism of sorts on an island, but with the birds. Really great artwork in this game. Ninja Division and Backspin have a game that also has some pretty cool artwork called Dance of the Fireflies. This is coming out. Doesn't look like a typical Ninja Division game. And then the big news of the week is Imperial Assault is getting an app for Fantasy Flight Games. This will take the place of the person who runs all the bad guys, so you can play it as a straight cooperative game. Not really my thing. I wasn't really a big fan of Descent app, but it doesn't matter. A lot of people are really going to enjoy this. That's pretty much it for the news, but let's quick run a little contest here. I'm always thinking of new segments. I did a What's on the Shelf for a while, and I have different segments that I do on the show, me personally. Got an idea for a good segment? Put it in the comments. Just put idea for segment, and then whatever your idea for segment is. If you like someone else's, thumb it up. If I pick and use your suggestion, then you might get a prize. All right, we'll keep that in mind. I figured I would stick it here in the middle of the news to see if anyone watches the news segment. Anyhow, let's keep going to the Kickstarter news.
Happy breakfast, everybody. We've got some cool projects to take a look at today, especially if you're one of those many gamers out there who are struggling with storage solutions. So let's get going. Box Throne is a new modular shelving system designed to hold all your games flat with easy access. The metal construction can bear a lot of weight, and you can buy columns in a variety of sizes. Shelves come in different colors, and the supports are double notched, meaning if you have 2 columns, you can create a third shelving space between them. You can also add clear acrylic shelves to serve as miniature or trinket displays, and there are 60-centimeter wide shelves available that when you put them between 2 columns, it actually creates a wider shelf that you can put your old school coffin and long classic game boxes on. There are even drawer inserts. You can get column frames in a variety of finishes, and you can mix and match shelf colors to customize your set. There are a lot of different pledge levels and add-on options, but a single Box Throne unit with 5 shelves takes a pledge of $79 plus shipping. In Museum, you're competing to become the world's greatest museum curator in a game of hand management and set collection. You'll gather artifacts from different civilizations or within different domains or types. Each turn, you simply reclaim your discard pile, or you can play a card. Playing a card to your museum requires that you pay for it using other cards from your hand. Discarded cards are actually still playable, they just can't be used for payment, but now other players have access to them as well. You'll have to deal with world events that can make getting artifacts more difficult, recruit specialists, and appeal to your patron who's set at the beginning of the game, and this can really help you form your strategy and game endgame points. The objects in Museum are actual real items, and each card features historical facts, and they all feature Vincent Dutrait art, and his style is a perfect match for the game. You can get a copy of Museum for a pledge of €49 plus shipping. Bushido is the way of the warrior and a new game coming from Grey Fox Games. This is a 1v1 game in which players draft technique cards and a weapon, which then let them build a pool of dice to attack and defend with. Cards also let you impact dice rolls, and nuanced elements like the guard position a player's in impacts which moves you can make. Through the draft, you'll be able to cater around a specific battle style, but mixing schools, techniques, and weapons really allows you to customize your battle approach, and it adds a lot of in-game variability. Bushido, at its core, it's really a two-player dueling game, and you can get a copy that includes 22 custom dice for a pledge of just $25 plus shipping. But you can also expand the game to 4 players, and there's a $48 pledge level for that as well. Stuffed is a dice-based game in which you're trying to save your soul from a stuffed eternity. Lightweight and featuring really stellar art, Stuffed has you rolling custom dice that you'll use to gain advantage cards or coins, or more importantly, recruit new teammates or activate abilities on your hero or teammates. Complete missions by gathering the right teammates, but be careful about mercenaries. They're kind of a necessary risk that are often required, but they can be lured away by your opponents. Stuffed includes 8 custom dice, and at the $28 base game pledge level, you also get a Sugar Goat plush toy. And last but not least, Roll to the Top is a roll-and-write game from Quali that includes a variety of challenges that follows the same basic rule structure but provides a nice amount of variety. Score sheets represent different iconic locations, and it's a race to build the full location from the bottom to the top. Each box must be filled in with a number higher or equal to the number below it. Each player is engaged in every roll, and the uncommon use of polyhedral dice in a roll-and-write game is made more complex by the plus and minus die that determines if a player has to add, remove, or swap dice from their next roll. Roll to the Top includes a number of different score sheets that provide varying challenges with how the spaces overlap. Additionally, backers will have free access to the web-based online version and will receive the Kickstarter exclusive Roll Across Africa challenge. You can get the basic game Roll to the Top for just €10 plus shipping, but I'd recommend you go with the pledge level for €15 that includes the special challenges pads as well. Okay, that's all I've got for you this episode. Hopefully something caught your eye. And if you are attending the Dice Tower Cruise, I really look forward to meeting you there this weekend. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week.
Hello there, I'm Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise. You know, I've been thinking about the legacy genre of games, which was introduced fairly recently into the gaming world. For those unfamiliar with this tabletop category, a legacy-style game is one where a unique continuity is created over the course of several play sessions of a game by introducing changes that are going to permanently alter the game's rules and modify its components with no turning back. You're going to rip up cards, you're going to mark on the board with markers, you're going to paste in new rules in the rulebook. By the end of the game, it's completely original, just tailored for your game group and your experience. Several legacy-style games have been produced to date, starting with the original Risk Legacy, followed by Pandemic Legacy, Seafall, and Charterstone. And 3 of these 4 games were designed by board game design veteran Rob Daviau. And several days ago, another Rob Daviau-designed legacy game was revealed to add to the list when it was announced that he would be developing a legacy version of the story-driven horror game Betrayal at House on the Hill. And while the legacy genre is one of my favorite recent innovations in board game design, I gotta admit, I have my reservations about a legacy version of Betrayal at House on the Hill. Here's why. Risk Legacy, Pandemic Legacy, and Charterstone succeeded in part because they start with a game engine that's relatively simple, well-known, or both. The legacy system then builds upon that simple core game, introducing new rules and wrinkles over time as new content is unlocked. And, in my opinion, Seafall by comparison failed because the game that it started with was an original, comparatively complex one. There was a lot of game to learn even before adding the legacy twists introduced throughout the multiple gameplay sessions. And is Betrayal at House on the Hill simple enough to successfully receive the legacy treatment? The game is fantastic fun, but it can be notoriously fiddly, especially in certain storylines. Additionally, Betrayal at House on the Hill is a story-driven game. Would a legacy system's evolving rule set interfere with the variety and versatility of incredible scenarios from the original version? I don't know. But I'm wondering if the legacy approach is best applied to a very specific type of game. A game with a very simple set of mechanisms at its core that the legacy system can then build onto while constructing the story, not the other way around. But what do you think? Is there a certain type of game that naturally lends itself to the legacy environment? Or are there others that are incompatible with the legacy treatment? I'm still finishing it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
So in this week's episode, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite board game parodies. Hi, I'm Gary Pope from Late to the Table, and this is what to check out. We basically go on the internet and we search for a bunch of different things that I think you should go ahead and check out. So let's go ahead and start. Now real quickly, just to get some things across, if you see this banner on any of my videos, that just sums up that it's a PG-13 video. There might be some swears, might be some adult content, so just keep that in mind, just to speed things up. And also beneath every single video I'm talking about, there'll also be instructions on how to get to that video. So like I said in the intro, this week we're going to be talking about some board game parodies. And first up is Play With Yourself, which is a song about the Pandemic Legacy game. It's from Actual, and it's a parody of Love Yourself by Justin Bieber. And it's a great parody. It's basically how an alpha gamer is ruining a Pandemic Legacy game. And the next two songs are Dice Tower songs. The first one is Part of Your Groove from Eric Summoner. It's basically a parody of Part of Your World from Little Mermaid. The next one is Why Does This Game Take So Long from Z and Sam Healy, which is a parody of Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers. Both songs are great, and they were both done actually live during their Dice Tower shows at Gen Con, if I'm not mistaken, on 2 different years. But personally, my favorite one out of the two is definitely Eric Summers. And the next one is Catan from Ambi Rona, who is a part of the Board Game Blitz podcast. And this is one of those kind of parodies where they just fit very well together, where, I mean, both subjects are fairly similar, where Catan is like the dominant game, while Gaston is like the dominant male person in that town. And the very last one, which is actually probably personally my favorite one, is You'll Be Back, which is making fun of Monopoly. It's made by Jason Perez, who's part of the Every Night is Game Night podcast, who's actually a personal friend of mine. And it's a parody of You'll Be Back, which is a part of the Hamilton musical. Now, of all of them, this is definitely my favorite one because it's probably the one I've listened to the most, and it's probably the only one I can sing from beginning to end without looking at the lyrics, I think. And that was another episode of What to Check Out. Be sure to send me some of your favorite things on Twitter and any other social media platform. And until next time, I hope you're enjoying your breakfast.
Okay, so what's coming from the Dice Tower this week? We're going to be taking a look at some of the hottest new games that are coming out. I'm not sure exactly which ones yet, though. I'm still putting that together, deciding, but I will be taking a look at Alexandria, the library that's burning down, and I'll be taking a look at, there was something else that was really interesting. I can't even remember off the top of my head what it was, but what else will you see this week? We're going to be doing another top 10 list, actually. Our top 10 gaming accessories. What are the best accessories to get for games? There's really a lot. Will we be specific or will we be general? You'll have to come back and find out. So there is that. Also our podcast. You'll see another one of those show up this Tuesday, and we're going to have our podcast continually going up even while we're going on the cruise. And you'll see some blogs and things from last week at PAX Unplugged. So cool content coming your way. Let's keep going.
Two brothers set loose in a thrift store. This is Thrift Store Throwbacks.
So that was middle-aged crazy. I'm old and I'm getting crazy. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it was. Yeah, the somberness over here is pretty accurate. It was not good, per usual. And I don't know. It was. Sorry, go ahead. It wasn't really. Like, oftentimes, it wasn't really what we were expecting. I was expecting, just based off the cover alone, like, it looks kind of fun, and, like, this can be this kind of crazy game, and I'm sorry. Why do we, even for a second, think that's going to be good? Because we always got to believe, you know? But we've been fooled so many times by covers like this. It's like, oh, maybe it's going to be some sort of balancing act. No, it's just another excuse to, like, get together with your friends that you don't know anymore because of the internet, and then you just, like, burn time. What are we doing here, man? No, we're doing a service. We're like bringing a service. We're wasting time to review games that waste other people's time.
No,
Isn't that crazy?
that's so
I'm having like
simple.
a real midlife crisis from this game, dude. Look at my beard. Look, I was a young, spry 21-year-old when we started this, and I'm 53 now mentally. I can't just keep doing these segments over and over and like bashing my head against a brick wall of bad games. I can't do it, dude.
No, this is like a service that we're providing. We're playing these games so they don't have to.
No, I can't. I'm sorry, dude. I just can't. I can't do these anymore. I can't do them.
Mike!
Nope.
Mike!
Nope. Can't do it.
Dude, stop joking around. Come on, we gotta film this. Seriously. Mike! Jesus. Okay. Whatever. So, whatever. Mike's not here anymore. It's fine. Check us out on all forms of social media. The graphic is gonna be right. Mike does the editing. So until next time, we'll see you at the thrift store. Is that a car? We'll see there. What?
I'm a very fortunate person because I like to spend money to some degree, but my wife is thrifty. That's very good, right? It's great to have someone who is going to keep track of your money. So I'm very pleased about that. But this kind of day it comes by, I'm recording today on Black Friday. And when this goes postal, you'll be seeing Cyber Monday and Cyber Tuesday. This is now in the Christmas season. So we have this excuse to shop, right? And the cool thing is there's some fantastic deals out there. Some great things and sales and such like that. And people like sales. But, you know, we have to be careful about this sometimes, that just because something is on sale doesn't mean it is worth buying. Now, this is like 101 for your own microeconomics to some degree. You know, just because it's on sale for, let's say, $100, it normally is $300. So I've saved $200. But if you don't need or want it, then you didn't save anything. You spent $100. And this is where we get into trouble with board games a lot. We'll see a sale on something and be like, wow, you know, there's this many games, but if I do this much, it will be free shipping. So I'm going to buy some more games that I didn't really want anyway. Or this game's on discount here, or at Barnes & Noble's are really, really cheap prices. So I'm going to get as many of these as I possibly can. Well, many times when we do that, those games just sit there and no one ever plays them. If you buy a game on sale and you're not really that interested in it and you never get around to playing it, then you literally have wasted money. I don't care if it was on sale or not. You're like, well, maybe I'll sell it someday for... Yeah, you won't. And you probably won't, if it was on sale there, you're probably not going to get a good deal. Games I don't think are a really good investment anyway. Magic the Gathering, maybe. You know, some of those collectible games, possibly. But board games, unless you happen to have bought, 400 Star Wars Queen's Gambits, you're not going to be really making a ton of money on board games to buy them for later. And so, why are we so, frenzied? It's because they're saying, buy now. No, if I was a retailer, I would be saying that sort of thing too. I want people to buy from me. And so I don't fault them for that. Well, some of these Black Friday sales and things, I do fault them. Like this encroaching onto Thanksgiving itself, trying to be earlier, encouraging. I think sometimes they're running over each other. But this isn't really a board game problem. That's more of a big box market stores type of problem. But the whole concept is a sale. Stores have sales to bring people into the store, and whether that store is online or in person, and to also drive sales, to get rid of products sometime. And that's fine. Because sometimes I might look at a game and go, that's $40. I don't want to pay $40 for that game. Oh, it's half off, 20? Okay, I'll try it. But I know a lot of people who, when they see these sales, are like, half off, I'll buy as much as I possibly can. A flea market, I'll buy as much as I can. But if you're not actually playing the games, isn't it a waste of money? Or maybe you do actually keep them for the future. I'm not opposed to sales. I think sales are great, but sales are not always the best thing for the store. Sometimes they, like I said, they have a sale because they're getting rid of that product. Well, if no one else wants it, is it worth it? If no one wants to play that game. And when I first got into gaming, I did this, right? I would go to eBay and just buy big lots of games. I would go to the store and be like, where's your discount area? I'll buy all those. And I found that I found some good stuff, but I was also buying a lot of chaff. So think of it this way. If I see two games that are half off, and I'm like, oh, okay, that one looks, no, well, I'll try them. So I buy them, and one of them's good, one of them's not good at all. or I do my research and look for a game that I really like and buy it full price. It's the same thing, except when I get that game, I'm fairly confident I'm going to like it. So my encouragement is don't be dazzled by this buy it now or forever. Don't, buy a whole bunch of games to pad out your collection, because yes, I know I said it's sitting in front of a wall of games, but this is not that important, right? Mostly a lot of these games, I used to keep games in my wall collection so I could show people my collection wall. I like all these games now. I love these games. Having a big collection doesn't really do anything. And buying a whole bunch of games in sales is certainly a way to pad that out, but I don't think it's good for you as a game group. I encourage you to search and find an amazing game. There's a lot that just came out. SN had a lot of great games come out. Find an amazing game. Go somewhere. Who cares whether it's on sale or not? Get the game. Oh, this one's not on sale. That's okay. If it's a great game, it's worth the price that you pay for it, and you'll have a fantastic time. Now I got to run and do some black market shopping. No, are you kidding? I'm going to play games.
Hi guys, I am Eleni / Cardboard Rhino, and welcome to my segment, Rhino Says Yes. Today I'm gonna be talking about one of my favorite board games, which is Not Alone. Not Alone is set way into the future, where your spaceship is stranded in an alien planet and you and your friends walk around exploring it. All except for one, who has taken the role of the alien creature who tries to hunt you and wear down your will until you have become one with this new and strange planet forever. The rest of you collectively try to avoid being hunted down until help arrives, which will allow you to escape. The hunted try to communicate with each other, mostly telepathically, as to where each one should go without giving away their location to the creature, and they play a place card to indicate where they want to go. The creature tries to guess their locations and plays one or more hunt chips. If you end up in the same location as the creature, you lose a will token or a card from your hand, and you progress the alien assimilation tracker one space further. If not, you gain the location's reward. Each location gives you different stuff. After the end of each round, you move the rescue counter one space forward. Then to the next round, you cannot reuse the locations already played, so deduction becomes easier for the creature. If the human completely runs out of location cards, they have to discard all of their will cubes in order to pick up their hand back up, and anytime they run out of will cubes, either from running out of cards or being stalked by the creature, they also have to advance the alien tracker towards the assimilation side. A rover unlocks some new location cards, adding some new options on the hands of the hunted, making it a bit more difficult for the creature. The game ends when either the creature or the hunted first reach the victory point. This game is fantastic because it's highly thematic, but yet very simple and tight in its mechanics and components. And it's got it all. It has hand management, bluffing, deduction, and most of all, meaningful choices. It's just the right amount of time to make you want to play again and again and again, and it's super fun in terms of player interaction. You feel the creepy presence of the creature. You're gonna be super tense when the creature is about to reveal its location, and you're definitely gonna make a fool of yourself trying to be a ninja and communicating where you wanna go without actually giving away your location. And just when you think you tricked the creature, hoping that one of you will create a diversion by being an easy target, you realize you're not alone. So Rhino says yes to Not Alone.
Hello everyone, my name is Annette, and you may know me as Natters Plays. And today on Applied Mechanics, I'm going to go over the game of Xenon Profiteer. So Xenon Profiteer is a deck building game, and the key mechanism in this game is the culling effect. So let me show you a little bit about this game and why I really like it. So here's your major setup for the game of Xenon Profiteer. You have your different setup of elements in air, and then you have your different contracts where you're going to try to accumulate a certain amount of Xenon in order to complete a contract to gain points. That's the main objective of the game, is getting the most amount of points. However, you're going to need to get rid of all this other stuff here by upgrading your console. You're a chemical engineer and you need to get rid of or distill certain other types of elements in order to concentrate on the xenon that you need. So every player will start off with their own console, which is going to be upgradable by applying these different upgrades. As any deck builder, you'll be able to shuffle your hand and then draw a certain amount of cards and reveal what you have in hand. In order to focus on the xenon, you'll need to get rid of the rest by obtaining these cards, which will distill or get rid of, say, the oxygen in your hand. Eventually, all you'll have left in your hand are all these different xenon cards in which you can buy these different contracts in order to gain points. So as you can see, Xenon Profiteer is a unique deck builder because it focuses on the culling mechanism. So you're trying to get rid of cards more or less instead of just gaining them and building your deck. The more you get rid of, then the more profit you'll gain by gaining these different contracts and gaining money or points. So that's why I really like Xenon Profiteer. Well, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Welcome to Tantrum House HQ. I'm Kevin Delp.
And I'm Melissa Delp. And today on the Throwdown, I have Atlas Enchanted Lands in the red corner.
I've got Gearworks in the blue corner.
Atlas Enchanted Lands by Renegade Game Studios is for 2 to 4 players. You play cards in a grid to discover an enchanted forest. There are 4 suits corresponding to the time of day, and 8 cards in each suit that show a specific place. When you play a card, you can place a bet on it predicting whether the set, the place, will score first, or the run, which is the time. Whoever can predict the best will score the most points.
Gearworks by Peacekeeper Games is for 2 to 4 players and it's on Kickstarter now. You're playing as tinkerers in a steampunk workshop, trying to fix a machine by placing gear cards in a grid. Cards in a column have to be different colors, and cards in a row have to be in ascending or descending order. When you place a card, you gain control of that column and the row. At the end of the round, you'll gain parts for what you control. Hopefully, you can use them to build amazing contraptions and score lots of points. So let's do the Throwdown. Gearworks takes about 45 minutes to play.
If you want something shorter, Atlas is about 20 minutes.
This one has a Sudoku puzzle-like feel to it. You're trying to get your cards in the right spots, and if you can do that, you can gain some powerful sparks.
This one's more about timing and taking chances. You're trying to predict the most likely outcome, and maybe even try to convince your opponent to lay cards to your advantage.
Well, I've got cards and gears and part tokens and wooden sparks.
Okay, so I only have cards and tokens, but the art is outstanding. Beth Sobel did a wonderful job illustrating the forest and the animals and the fairies.
Well, for both of these, the theme is more in the art than in the gameplay. Gearworks has that mechanical steampunk feel that shines in the gears and the Da Vinci style contraptions.
So which game won this Throwdown? Vote in the comments.
Go Gearworks!
Atlas!
Hi, Mike DeLisio from Solomode Games, and I've got a confession to make. I talk to myself when I play solo games. It's true, I'm not proud to admit it, but I feel like we know each other well enough now that I can lay it all out there on the line. When I'm playing a game by myself, I tend to talk through my moves. Now, if there are other people in the house, maybe not so much. I refrain from that activity, but if it's just me and my game, I talk to myself. Now, when I'm filming, I feel like that's not a problem because that's actually part of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to speak through my thought process, such as it is, and help the viewer get an idea for some of the decision-making process that might be taking place in the game. But I don't have that excuse when the camera's not on, and yet I still find myself doing it. Why is that? Why do I do that? Well, I don't know, honestly. When I'm playing with other players in a multiplayer game, from time to time, I'll find myself going through that process as well. I'll start thinking and find myself thinking out loud and actually vocalizing some of the thoughts that are in my head about, well, if I do this, then this might happen, but oftentimes that's not a good thing to do. A, it might be construed as odd, and B, it might also kind of let on some of what your strategy or thought process is, and that's not always something you want to do in a multiplayer game. So in a solo game, not as much of a problem. And I wanted to know, maybe I don't have to feel quite so odd. Are there anybody out there that does the same thing? If you're a solo player, do you speak to yourself maybe when you're taking your turns? In a multiplayer game, do you think through out loud what you're going to be doing? I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are. If you can let me know in the comments below, I'd be very interested to see what you have to say about this. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.
Hello, my name's Dan, this is Evan, and this is Cora, and we're here today to talk to you about kids' games for children around 5 and under. So today we're going to be talking about this game. What is it, Cora?
Too Many Monkeys.
Too Many Monkeys. Too Many Monkeys is a card game based on the nursery rhyme 5 Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed. In the game, you can have a row of cards face down in front of you. You take it in turns to draw a card, and if it's got a monkey with a number on it, you swap it with a face-down card that's in front of you in that numbered space. If the card that's face down has got another number on it, then you swap it with another card, and so on. For some reason, that all sounds much more complicated than it actually is. As well as numbered cards, there are ones that do other things too, such as wild cards, and cards that make the other players skip a turn. There's no strategy to this game, it's pure luck. However, the mild take-that elements and the satisfying feeling you get when you get a run of cards both manage to provide enough enjoyment to make this a fairly pleasurable game for adults, as well as children. So Evan, what do you think about Too Many Monkeys?
I like the how the monkeys can just come out in random orders, as in if you get one monkey which is number 1, the next monkey could be number 5, number 3, number 2, or number 1. And
you kind of chain off each other.
And some turns you can just get one of them and it go into a chain, you just go on and on and on until you actually win on the first turn.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Cora? What do you like?
I like the pictures, and I also like how it's like the bedroom doors are the.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? Like you turn over the cards and the bedroom doors and you can see inside with the monkeys jumping on the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like this one as well. It's a really good take that game. I think I've said it before, but we take this one on holiday with us quite a bit, and it's a really good game for all the family, really. So we give this one 2 monkeys jumping on beds. Thumbs up.
Bye, bye, bye.
So I was having a little look through my collection, right? And I was trying to find out what the best deal I've ever had out of a charity shop / thrift store was. No, not iGo either, which is an amazing game. What on my shelves was the best buy? It's the shelves. This section is it's about shelves. I got those shelves from the British Heart Foundation 10 years ago for £5. A guy called Scott Nicholson has, hands down, the best shelf video on YouTube, which doesn't sound exciting, but seriously, it's really good and masterfully called Board Game Shelves with Scott. So I highly recommend you check that out, even if you don't need shelves. It's just a good video. But this £5 bookcase has always kind of just works for me. All the games fit nicely. Look at that. That's almost perfect, isn't it? It's sturdy-ish. Don't do that too hard. And frankly, kind of just suits me perfectly. So I'd kind of just say that if you're on a budget and you need some shelves, just try a thrift store or charity shop. You may not get lucky because those shelves go like shelves off a shelving shelf. I didn't have anything for that at all. I should have thought of something. But these shelves have always done me great, and it's the best buy in my collection. Thrift store throwbacks. I throw back to the start, back to the shelf start, before the games. I don't need you, Murphs.
That's another Board Game Breakfast in the books, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Like I said, there won't be any next week, but there will be a live Q&A later today. Probably in the afternoon is when I'm going to schedule it, because part of today is going to be taken up by us going to the cruise ship and dropping some things off and getting ready for the cruise that's coming on later this week. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. Thanks so much for watching Board Game Breakfast.